We're doing it live.
Everybody, what's going on? I know this is odd. 3 days in a row, man. I don't know what's wrong with me either. But K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405. I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hopefully you'll be entertained for me going on my rants, and hit that follow button. Share this out. Subscribe if you don't mind. You know what I'm saying? It's free. All right. Anyway, because nothing's really free anymore these days. But man, let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm gonna get into a rant. I'm gonna get into the rant, but I'm gonna save the Nintendo thing for later. But I'm gonna get into a rant. I'm about to rant. Because right here, this news that came through from Matt, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Anyway, he's not even on Twitter anymore. He's not even on Twitter X. What's going on with you? What's happening with you? What's happening? I don't know which one is this, Loke, or if it's Ham, but whatever. What's going on? What's happening? I don't know. Listen, he left Twitter X, and now he's on Blue Sky, he's on Threads and stuff like that. Anyway, this news just blew my mind, right? Like, not only with the Nintendo stuff, but this right here was crazy to me, and it really infuriated me to a little bit degree. Not like I'm rage going out crazy, but it did piss me off. EA Sports College Football 25 become the all-time best-selling sports video game in U.S. history. In U.S. history. Think about that for a second. The biggest sports game in U.S. history. And you mean to tell me that game, that College 25, could not be a nominee at the VGAs? I mean, I was already in a feeling some kind of weight because it's not there. But see, this is what I've been trying to explain to people about how the nominations at the VGAs are so unserious. They're not. You just watch to be entertained. And listen, I don't want to be one of those people that constantly just try to rail on Jeff Keighley's show, because he's done a really good job, and I love these type of shows in venues. I hate when E3 left, and we all knew that Keighley was trying to help on kill off E3. And so then you get his game, his summer game fest thing, which some people don't like. I thought that they were fine. I thought they're fine. And like I said, I don't want to shit on this man. Like I know him. I don't. He could be a very pleasant person. We all know that he's a PlayStation, yuppie. It is what it is. Some people may call me an Xbox yuppie. It is what it is, right? But the reality of it is that the show cannot be taken seriously just because of the fact that you got the biggest, and this is happening. It happens every year that there's snubs that is just so unnecessary, and it makes the show so flawed, because when you have a certain huge game that's right there at the disposal of everybody who follows gaming knows that these certain games are there, but then they're not there for other games to win Game of the Year or just win on any other category. It just dilutes what the VGAs is about. And I'm not understanding. And I knew it. I knew that college sports, I was saying, like, this game is going to sell like hotcakes. I knew it was. Everybody's been waiting for this to come back. Thank God that case was over with the O'Bannon brothers and everybody else who got into the lawsuit because of their likeness and all that stuff. And thank goodness the EA brought a really proper product to the table, because college football is awesome. It is a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic football game. Just to see how it was playing, how it played, how it felt, everything. Online was good, all that, right? Just a great game. And for it not to be nominated is just absolutely atrocious. It makes me sick to my stomach because, and see again, it don't have to win. It just needs to be acknowledged. For people out there that was trying to give the justification, well, it's a world event, the type of deal, whatever, whatever, whatever. I get all that. And that's why I wouldn't have been tripped out if FC won, right? I wouldn't have tripped out if NBA 2K25 won. I wouldn't have tripped out if, well, I would have been like, top spin, word. But you mean to leave out the biggest game in U.S. history, biggest sports game in U.S. history. What's going on with you? What's going on with you, Sir X-Man? That to me is the most egregious shit ever. I still cannot fathom this type of stuff. What's up? Good morning with you, Big Bad Mo. I know I'm losing my mind 3 days in a row doing a stream. I don't know. I just let me cook. I don't know. I have no idea. But no, it's just been some really good, interesting news that's been dropping that I'm just wanting to talk about. But that right there just bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. Like, because Hogwarts Legacy, it's still selling. Hogwarts Legacy is still selling. Like, we go through and looking at the year charts, it's still in the top 20. It's still in the top 20, and that game did not get any recognition last year. And in my opinion, it should have been game of the year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But again, it is what it is. I think that that's just bananas. And that's why, for me, I just cannot take it seriously. It's wild to me. It is very wild to me. You know what I'm saying? Look, what Sir X-Man said, that 5-hour GRG show made you get. It did get. Yeah, I guess so. That would. Yeah, it did. I guess get the juices flowing, but it is what it is. But like I said, it's also been important stuff to talk about too, because I'm one of these people that just won't talk about the same stuff over and over and over and over again. That's why you don't see me stream usually every day. But I mean, I know I'm just doing 3 days in a row. This is crazy, and I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night, fight night. So yeah, that's kind of wild. But anyway, I just that to me just made me. It disturbed me. It really did. I didn't understand why people would take that to a point to where they would feel that serious to well, I should say the VGAs. My thing that I need to know, right, that I would like to know from people who are from the inside, is why and how do they make these decisions for these certain games? And the one thing that always comes to me is that because they want to placate to a certain demographic, to a certain company or a certain group of companies. And I don't want to think that, but I mean, sometimes it's just right there in your face, and sometimes it's just obvious, right? Like it just makes you look at this and say, hold up, wait a minute. What the hell is going on here? The biggest selling, and we didn't know this, but we knew that the game was selling like hotcakes. But this game is the best selling game in United States history, best selling sports game. And you mean to tell me, after so many fantastic sports games that's been out throughout its history, you mean to tell me that this game couldn't be nominated? That just don't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. That's wild. That is real wild. That's real wild. But anyway, that's all for my rant on that. I just find it to be ridiculous. I can't stand it. And it just makes the VGAs just even less entertaining to me, on the fact of I can't say less entertaining. It just doesn't make me take the nomination seriously. It just don't. It just don't. When you skip out on good quality games, it is easy to sit here. We've talked about this before, and I'm sure people have talked about it on numerous podcasts and other places out there, to where it just makes sense to try to do the VGAs in January, sometime early January, if right after. Right after New Year's, just right after it, or if you wanted to make it you can still make it a huge event towards the end of the month, towards the end of January or beginning of February. But it just makes more sense because you get the whole year to sit here and get every game, because Indiana Jones is a good title. Stalker 2 is a good title. There's other titles that comes out at the end of the year that should get more recognition. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just wild. I don't know. And then we talked about it before, other categories that most people don't care about. They're like, okay, let those go and put some other categories in, just separate the racers and the sports games, make them into their own categories, and then add some other best JRPG, or if they don't, because you hear that there's a lot of people from the East that don't like that term JRPG. I think they're more relaxed on it now, but those type, best Western RPG, best Eastern RPG, what I'm saying? Because there's so many good games out there. It almost makes it seem like really good games that people have played, that maybe cult classics, they don't get great for instance, if you wanted to make a category for DLC only, then that would make sense. Instead of trying to put Elden Ring's DLC up there for Game of the Year, or even in the contention of full game entries, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's cool, but sometimes it looks real lazy and just want to rush it out because they want to put a musical act out there first. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I don't want to shit on the man's show because I appreciate it. I appreciate the work Keeley done because really nobody else is doing it. So but this right here, this is egregious. You can't miss that. And this is not an Xbox game, PlayStation game, or Nintendo game. This is just a game this is a multiplat, and this is the biggest sports game. And you just let that you said, nah, put Top Spin in. That's exactly how we just like a throw in. Let's put Top Spin in. Not to disrespect Top Spin. I'm just saying. Biggest sports game in history. They know this. Oh my God. It infuriates me. Deshaun, what's up with you, brother? He said, K Mega, it's all politics, baby. The Game Awards are not for us gamers. It's for companies and the media. They don't care about sports games. Brother, I know that. And that's why I say you can't take this seriously, because it is placated for certain groups. And it always usually kind of ends up to where PlayStation gets the curtain call because of the person who hosts it. We all know why that is. But it also is just like what you said, it's politics. And it just doesn't make sense when there's so much content out there and there's so many great games out there, like the card game, Blabardo, whatever, how you pronounce that game's name. Stuff like that. I think that's fascinating. Like those type of things like that is great. I love to see those type of games get in contention, things like that. Right. But there's other games out there that's like that should get its shine. And it doesn't make any sense either, because it's like what I said yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before yesterday when it was talking about the Astrobot situation, and then how Nintendo doesn't get enough credit because Astrobot took a lot from those Nintendo games, especially the Mario Sunshine game. It's just wild. And again, we was bringing Psychonauts 2, which was a game, and I'm not really a big platform gamer anymore. And so that Ori, And Ori did win some awards. I don't think it was up for Game of the Year or nothing like that, but it did win a couple of awards or something like that. I mean, but again, it's not, it flips too much. It's not consistent. It's just not consistent, and it just doesn't make any sense how a game like and see we'll see what happens next year, right? When we're talking about a game like Marvel Rivals, right? That's a big, huge sensation right now. Will it be nominated? It'll be nominated, but will it get its just due for a game that is a new IP? It's definitely probably going to be going in the what's it called, the ongoing game list or some bullshit like that or whatever. But if the game is a huge success, why can't a game like Marvel's Call of Duty, or something? It's like a shooter can't get its love after what happened, because it was like the industry went on revolt when Overwatch won, right? Like that was a very huge, surprising win, and that's the type of stuff you want to see in rewards and awards, because Overwatch was the biggest game. It was the most beloved game over Uncharted. And you know what I'm saying? And then after that, you've seen how it usually always goes to those same type of single player, third person, over the shoulder type of games. Now, you kind of get the you get the Sekiros and stuff like that. They'll win those whatever the hell those games are called that I hate. But you know what I'm saying? But the pain and gain games, as I call them. But yeah, now they're kind of trying to throw in these little cute games or whatever, which is fine or whatever. But I just can't. It just isn't consistent. And it just isn't consistent. I mean, it's just too many games to get left off the table. The Tomb Raiders, the Jedi games, the Jedi Survivor, and all that. Like, what? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Anyway, so Callie, what my boy Callie's saying? He says you're going to talk about the hate that Naughty Dog's new IP is getting from the culture war, folks. I talked about it a little. I talked about Intergalactic and how much I enjoyed it yesterday, and so I didn't want to get into the grift wars or whatever. But I'll briefly just give my thoughts about it. The hell with them. Who cares about the grifters? Hold on. Where was that? Like, hold on. Let me throw some more shade here. Where? Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Hold up. This man here, right? We all know this crummy bastard here, right? Okay, so he's over here talking about I made a plan with everyone in March to take down DEI and AAA gaming targeting Ubisoft. Okay, so he says, point out, let's go and read the whole thing. Point out wokeness, which, fool, you don't even know what the true meaning of woke means. But anyway, I digress. Reach out to the YouTubers, the foolish YouTubers out there that sits there and that's placating on this because this is because this is making them a little bit of ad revenue, and they will jump over and they will sell their soul. They'll swear they're not racist, or they say that they're not this. They just want to be culturally. They just want the gaming culture to be back to the way it was. Okay. Anyway, they're frauds. 2 years of non-buying woke AAA to stop the spread. And are you feeling the impact yet? Outlaws didn't do it. Veilguard is doing fine. Like, I mean, it's not smashing records or nothing like that, but it's doing well. It's in the top 20. I think, as a matter of fact, it might be in some cases in the top 10 of games being sold right now. The Awakening, it's an interesting looking game. I thought that it had some promise to it, but then it's not a big budget game, and so but it looks cool. I see it's on sale. I thought about picking it up, but if I pick it up, it's going to probably be after Christmas. Dustborn, why? Because there's a black chick on it. And then, of course, Forspoken, you know what's wild about that? Because Forspoken is dope. Like, the beginning of it, I couldn't stand the female character protagonist. They made her sound so So they gave her that stereotype, like, she's this. Yeah, she sounded hood, but she's proper sounding. You know what I'm saying? I hate that whole terminology when people say, "Oh, you sound white." Stop giving white people so much credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sound educated. That's how you properly say it. Because I get that same shit too. Like, oh, you talk white. No, I talk educated. That's how I do. You talk educated. I talk educated. That's how it's supposed to be. That's a proper term. It's not talking of a color or a race. It's just talking where people can understand you and you got proper etiquette. Sometimes I can hit y'all with those big words, and then a lot of other times I'm country as hell. So let me cook right now. Anyway, but Forspoken, they gave her the stereotype in the beginning. I really did not like her character, right? And then when you got past the part where she was in the city, she goes into that other world, dimension or whatever. What's going on with your Beasley? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening with you? Thank y'all for coming through. It she's still acting out of pocket, but then she gets humbled. And then after she gets humbled, and then she starts caring for the people that's there because she see that there's something going on that's not proper. And then she gets humbled, and then her whole character change, she evolves. And I'm like, oh, but what makes the game great is the combat. Like the combat and and just how she can float around and move around throughout the game, and the power sets. Like, that's what I'm saying. The combat is absolutely stupendous, and it's very original. It's not like it's something that you see in every other like RPG. They did a really good job with the game. Like, I mean, there was a couple of things that, excuse me, that you could sit there and probably get a little annoyed too. That, like, when you're in a fight sequence, they kind of talk. Like, PlayStation games do that type of shit all the time. Like, they talk and say the same type of dialogue. Like, it's not a lot of new dialogue or whatever. But other than that, like, I mean, the combat is absolutely superb. That's where to me the game shines. The story is good. It's not overwhelming, but it's good. It's got a good twist. It's got a good couple of twists in the story. But so I was like, yo, this game is dope, and I can't wait for Xbox gamers to get a hold of this, because this is one of those games that's supposed to get away from the PlayStation exclusivity at some point, and Xbox gamers will get a chance to play it. And I hope they will support it. I hope it goes straight to Game Pass. So that will give an initiative for gamers to give it a shot. So anyway, so yeah, that The Awakening, I don't know, and Dustborn, I don't know. Veilguard, that shit is tough. And Star Wars Outlaws is dope as well. It's just that it was buggy as hell, and I played it, and then I was like, okay, they got the first patch. I played it again. I'm like, okay, it plays much better. But then I was playing Metaphor, playing that, then playing the hell out of Tekken, and then now it's started Stalker, and now I'm Indiana Jones and back on Tekken. So it's like, I'll get to Outlaws when I get to Outlaws, right? But Concord, if there's anything that I can agree with this Yahoo about, is that Concord did look awful. The outfits and the character models, they didn't. I don't know what the hell that Sony was thinking on giving the green light for that. I don't know. It looked awful. That's the only thing that I can give them an opportunity. But it ain't this so-called wokeness garbage. It's just that it's bad design. It's, what I'm saying, like you got a heavy set person, and you put more heavy set clothes on that heavy set person, the models look goofy. They look very goofy. It's what I said before, is that Concord, what Sony should have done is treated Concord just like how Square Enix treated Guardians of the Galaxy. Make it a single player game, or a game kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy, to where you can play with all the characters, at one time like that, and have them build up to see who you like and who you not, and then implement the online and make it free to play. So therefore people can, feel comfortable of joining in and playing. And I think that the game could have worked, because if, when they was doing the animations and stuff like that I seen, they looked good. I mean, because when I seen the first trailer for that game when they first announced it, I was getting Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, and I'm like, oh, if this shit's a single player, this might be lit. It's a multiplayer, and so therefore I was like, oh, this, and then you look at the character. That's the only game on the list that I can sit here and say is a problem. But anyway, the reason why I'm showing this because of what this imbecile said. Look at this is his graphics. How is bro? What? Wait a minute, homie. What in the hell is that? What is that? I mean, white folk should be pissed off. If this is what you want for the gaming community to see all the time, every time, because he's supposed to be working on a game. Is this what this is you? Bro, this is you? This shit yours here. This shit here is yours. And you got the audacity to talk about the great design of Forspoken and Outlaws and Veilguard, which Veilguard is beautiful. Beautiful. The game is stunning. Man, there's scenery and things in Forspoken, absolutely stunning. Mwah. And you out here on a mission, and this is what you do. And man, if I was a white person, I'd be offended as hell. I'd be like, bro, shut up. What? And see, Callie, I wasn't trying to go there, but since you brought it up, you know what I'm saying? So Intergalactic, how dare you sit there and talk to the graphic goats? One of the graphic goats, because Ninja Theory is the gods to me. Ninja Theory is the gods of the graphics, right? Like Hellblade 2 is solid. But one of the graphic goats out there definitely is Naughty Dog. There's no question. And you will disrespect the great mighty Naughty Dog and what they do with their games graphically. With that shit there? I don't care when was the last time. It might have been 10, 12, 13 years ago. Those are awful designs. Look, this is what you want your women to look like? Bro, what? Don't they sit there and get all tripped out about how women arms look and shit and how they got muscle tone? This chick got shoulders like a mule. Like a goddamn mule. Look at them shoulders. Bro, are you kidding me? Man, look, what? You don't get your punk ass out of here and stop talking this shit and go get you some real graphic designers to sit there and help draw some character models for you. Because if this is the shit that you're gonna be bringing to the table, I can't wait to cook you. I can't wait to slow base your punk ass for your racist bullshit tyrants. And this shit here is it's just goddamn disgusting. Oh my God, if I was a white man, I'd be. And then look at what you got him on, bro. You got him on some tight ass draws, man. Man, come on, man. All right, I gotta move. Like I said, I'd be damned if I take any of these incel, ridiculous, half-witted, racist fools seriously. Man, I'm over here thinking bro made hits. Made like I'm on like Eve. I'm thinking he got character models like Eve. This is what you give us, and you talking shit about these other developers here, bruh. Hold the damn phone. Okay. Anyway, Callie, you got me started, and I wasn't even trying to do that. I wasn't even trying to do that. I was trying to get. I'm over here trying to talk about the other thing else. Anyway, let me move on. Let me move on back to this other shit, bro. Jack 82 said K Mega missed you live for the last GRG podcast. Haven't checked in a minute. No, it's fine because I haven't been doing anything for a minute. So, it's just my thing that where I'm over here just, I haven't really been consistent for, especially in 2024. So, what I'm saying? I gave that explanation the other day of reason because, my mom passed away, and then my dog passed away, and it was just been a wild damn year. So and so I haven't been consistent, but you know what I'm saying, looking at my boy Verge, what's happening with you? Yeah, and Stanley, yeah, no, bro, that's it. Dragon Age Veilguard is fire. I don't know why it's troublesome. It's very troublesome to sit there and to dog a game that is of quality like Veilguard over one segment or a couple of segments that will take what, 30, 40 minutes of your time playing that game, and it's optional, and you don't even have to worry about the them they thing with Taz, and you don't even have to make her them they. You can make her you can make her choose to be a woman, and you can even have a relationship with her if you wanted to. Like that's like, it's optional. Everything is optional. You didn't even have to listen to that last part that they all went crazy over. Which offers a side story to complete Taz's side missions. That it's not in the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she talked about it one time in the game because the conflict between her and her mom. You're not being called them, they, she, we, them in the game. Nobody's saying anything like that. You just kicking ass, going through the story, which the story is fire. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what these people are wanting, but they damn sure ain't want quality games. They want bullshit. They ain't trying to look for something that's a great experience. And Intergalactic, that game looks great. Now, I don't know Naughty Dog does fantastic with animations and stuff like that. The Last of Us 2 was great. The Last of Us 1 was great. Just can't beat it for some reason. It just bores me to all outdoors. But Last of Us 2, the animations was great. So I'm sure if this is going to be more of an action oriented type of game, I can't, I'm an Xbox guy, but you got to give credit where credit is due. Naughty Dog do their work. Like, you know what I'm saying? And no, I was not a fan of how it ended, how Last of Us 2 ended, but everything else in between. And like, that's the thing, like, my only point on this, and then I'm moving on, is what makes me sick is this movement against a group of people that is less than 1% of the population in the United States. And the biggest group of trans people that's in the United States is not even on this goddamn continent. They're in Hawaii. Less than 1%. Go look it up. Google is your friend. Hell, Microsoft Edge or whatever the hell, the Chrome, whatever the hell it's called now, I forget. Copilot, whatever. It's your friend. Hell, you can sit there and hit Alexa or whatever. Those are your friends. Going and doing the research is your friend. Doing your own research, not listening to Joe Rogan and all these other crazy ass right wing people that's starting all this bullshit, that's bringing this politics into gaming. That shit is in it. That you go do your own research, because the first thing they say, you listen to CNN too much. I don't even watch CNN like that. Yes, I do watch my Rachel Maddow and my Joy Reid. Love them to death. But I pay attention more to right wing shit because I laugh at it. So again, less than 1% in this country. And they're not even on this continent. They're in Hawaii. And the capital of trans people is in Thailand. And that's like what? 2%? 3%, I think. Ridiculous. And again, what's really crazy to me is that how many people that sit there and keeps talking about these group of people, how many of them do they ever interact with in person? I only know 2 or 3 trans people. That's it. In my lifetime. So it's, y'all make it seem like y'all just go outside and this motherfuckers in wigs and in heels everywhere, all day, every day. Like this is ridiculous, man. I don't understand it. But again, let them cook over there because they on some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna sit there and get mad because you see a person of color, the Sweet Gum Inc. and whatever they call that company is called, whatever. Keep pumping out these games. Keep pumping out these games. I want more of them. Now, I mean, when Spider-Man 2 drops and I get to play it on PC, and we'll see about the Mary Jane. Hell, I didn't even like the Mary Jane stuff in the first Spider-Man. So I'm sure I won't like the Mary Jane thing with a gun in this one. I don't know. I don't. But again, I'm pretty sure the rest of the game is going to be decent and enjoyable to play. So anyway, let me move on. Let me move on that. Let me move on from that. Came back on fire. But bro, these radicals, man, they tripping. Like, I mean, come on, man. Everybody plays games. When we're playing games online, and especially if you're playing against randoms, you don't know who the hell you playing against. And there's some randoms that you really have a good time playing the game with. And if you find out that person is a different religion, different sex, different race, you go sit there and stop playing with them just because, then obviously you're not a part of the gaming ethos. You're part of something else. And we don't want you in gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, gaming is supposed to be for all of us, not just one particular group to make them people happy. It's supposed to be for everybody. That's why you let these people create the art. That's why there's so many games out there available for us to play. And if you don't like Vanguard, if you don't like Forspoken, you don't have to buy it. You don't have to mess with it. But you try to force those games to not be made and to not be produced for people like, for instance, my brother Lope, that was excited to play as somebody that was from Mozambique in a video game. That brother should be left out because you don't want somebody from Mozambique to be represented in the game. I don't know. It's bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me, but okay, we'll keep it pushing. What's going on with you? What's happening with you, Ocular fan? Anyway, so I'm done with that rant. And I'm done with the VGA rant with college football. That shit is garbage. That was absolutely tragic, and it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. So my next topic is about Nintendo. Listen, this is crazy to me. Now, this is what made me want to do the stream, because I said this a couple of years back. Thank you, Next Face. I said this a couple of years back. Because we were all expecting that there would be a new Switch or a new Nintendo console coming up here soon. But then when they were talking about like the Switch sales are are just blowing up, that people are still buying Switches, that it's almost impossible to even find them. That was a couple of years ago. Then it came to the point that they were saying, well, man, the Switch seems like there might be close to the PlayStation 2's sales record. And I said it, if my brother Sir X-Man and them are still in here, I said it. And the people that's been here listening to me on GRG say this. I said, Nintendo's looking for that number one spot. Nintendo, that would be the ultimate insult for the so-called market leader PlayStation to get the biggest selling console of all time, get to drop to number two behind their, we say mortal enemy or whatever, but they're all business, corporate companies. They're in competition, but I don't think that they're mortal enemies. Not like it was maybe in the 90s or whatever. But it would make for a sweet, See, Sony, you was riding high, but you ain't riding high no more. And lo and behold, look at this. And this, and I'll show. I know that I just took the piece and I put it there and of course I had to put the T. What I'm saying, that's just sweet. That's grand to me. The Switch surpassed the PlayStation 2 US lifetime hardware unit sales. Now, again, I would like to know what the world unit sales, but you would assume that the US was the biggest was the biggest seller of PlayStation 2s than anywhere else in the world, right? So if that's the case, then that means that if PlayStation is still up by a few 100,000 or something like that, or maybe let's say another million, right? Switch is gonna catch them, and that's probably why Nintendo has been holding on and not letting the Switch 2 or whatever that the new console is going to be called, or hybrid or whatever, is because they want that shine, they want that number one spot, so they can brag about that while they introduce their new hotness. I mean, if I was in charge, that's what I would do. Like, man, go ahead, hold that. Let's let the public wait. Let's let these switches cook for a little bit. What's going on with your brother? What's happening with you? Good to see you, child of God, man. Haven't heard from you in a minute, man. Much love to you, man. Glad you could come through. Octa the Fan, what did he say here? He said a month after release, and now Mark Cerny is doing a PlayStation 5 Pro technical seminar, PlayStation 5 with a boost GPU. That's it. Oh, man. Come on, man. Come on. Disrespectful. They went from 155, and see, check this out, right? That was what the thing that was so wild, because Jim Ryan came out there and said, oh, no, it's 160. It's 160. So, okay. Nintendo said, all right, well, it don't matter as long as we get 161. 161, we winning. We on top. And this is what's the wild thing about this. This is what makes this so spectacular, right? Not because as an Xbox gamer, like, you know what I'm saying, and we're looking at this from the distance, because the poor Xbox will never ever see these type of numbers ever, right? But what makes this fascinating to me is that there will be no console ever that will overtake these numbers ever again. There might be an era or time, and I hope that we all get to our twilight years in life to where we might see consoles resurface at some point. But now, and for the foreseeable future, for the next, I say 20 years, nah, bro, consoles is cooked. This is it. And so there is going to be no more consoles that's going to ever come close to those type of numbers ever again. So Nintendo will have this, and they will have it on lock for mostly probably ever. That's something that Sony's been holding on to and bragging about forever. And then Jim Ryan knew this, like, goddamn, this little underpowered little piece of plastic is on our ass, and they're on them, and they got them. They cooked them. And he even tried to boast the numbers, and Nintendo said, "Yeah, we'll catch it." That's what makes it fascinating to me. And this is another thing too that makes it. There's so many fascinating facets to this, right? Like, okay, for one is the fact that the Nintendo Switch is underpowered by a mile. By a mile. They even produce here lately games that just don't run very well because, you know, like Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, and then the other game, the sequel, the other Zelda sequel. Like, that game runs horrible on the Switch, right? But people don't care. It's something about Nintendo that PlayStation or Xbox could ever catch that type of fire. Not with as many IPs that Nintendo has, that Nintendo gets all this love from, like Halo, Gears, Forza, and maybe a Fable gets that type of love. But even Halo right now hasn't got that same type of love. Forza has gotten bigger than it's ever have now. The franchise overall, both games. I mean, I know that Motorsport doesn't sell nowhere like a Horizon, but I just put them together because, I mean, they're both from the same they're the same wheelhouse, is made by the same people pretty much, in a sense. Well, I mean, I know Playground, but they all kind of work together. for those games. But Gears, people were trying to talk down about Gears 4, Gears 5. You go back and you can play Gears 4, Games 5. Those games hold up still today very, very well. Hive Busters, I don't know why people didn't give Hive Busters a chance, because that was the best looking game at the time. Than most games that came out. People were over here clamoring about Spider-Man Miles Morales and and Demon Souls remaster and all that. And I'm like, man, have y'all seen Hive Busters? Hive Busters put them all to shame. That is the best looking game I've ever seen in my life. So again, here we go with, people, not really trying to acknowledge stuff, or so-called Xbox content creators bragging about a game but not actually playing it. There we go, right? And then play it years later as though like nobody remembered what they were talking about beforehand. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But again, PlayStation, God of War, that's going to sell. That's it. Uncharted, that's going to sell. The Last of Us, that's going to sell. I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to be that new game to come up. Gran Turismo, it's kind of falling off. It does good, but it doesn't. There's a new king of racers now, and that's Forza. So, PlayStation stands. I know you don't like me saying that, but that's just the truth. So, but when you talk about Nintendo, you got Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Mario Kart. The list goes on. A lot of them are same like little characters from like Mario or whatever, Donkey Kong. Like these games, just Pikmin and all games I don't even give a damn about. Like I'm like, that don't 20 million sold. What? Splatoon. 25, 30 million. So like it's crazy. The Nintendo fan are maniacs. And you know what? You got to love them for it. And so again, the Switch just, the Switch is just, it's an impressive thing. I remember because look, see, this is another thing too, and this is what makes me feel confident about Xbox going forward, regardless of whatever they're doing. I did this whole discussion of, if you want to hear me make that discussion, please listen to yesterday's stream, as I was talking about their movement and what they're going to be doing, all that. This is why I'm still optimistic about Xbox. It's because of the situation with Nintendo, right? I can remember when the Switch was first announced, and then the one thing was always brought up about the power, right? And I remember at that time I was on the multiplayer with Next Gen and them, and they were just dogging the hell out of it. And I was I'm like, yeah, the power aspect doesn't sound impressive. I said, but Nintendo, you can't count Nintendo out. I said, you just can't. Nintendo just finds a way. And I made this point saying, I said, just think about, okay, so when Nintendo, of course, saved gaming, when gaming was on the collapse. Then they had their battles with Sega and with PlayStation. Then they kind of went left and made the GameCube. And then the GameCube was like their first non-big successful, console, right? And at this point, PlayStation was rolling. And Sega was doing a thing, but at this time, PlayStation was just dominant, right? And so the GameCube was their first real kind of, if you want to kind of say failure, I wouldn't say it was a failure, but it just wasn't resonating like PlayStation and other consoles that came out, right? Then the Wii. And the Wii, and look, as all of us that are Xbox fans, the 360 is the standard of that generation. Period. Even some PlayStation stands have to bow down to the mighty 360, right? But the king of console sales was the Wii. The Wii was a phenomenon. Like, I bought it for my kids. Like, and my daughter, she wasn't even into gaming, but she was into the Wii, and so like it just was nuts. And so then they go left again, and then they bring the Wii U, and then that is the most. That is the worst selling console that out of the big three. Now, it's not overall the worst selling console of all time, but it is the worst selling console out of the big three. And if Xbox is going to continue to keep making consoles, which they say I'm going to believe them until they change their mind, they won't sell. They won't ever sell that few like the Wii U did. They just won't. Like the sales has gone down. The 29. I've seen the sales overall sales for Xbox Series S and X is down 29%. Right. That's not a good look. Right. But it's still over 30 million consoles sold. Right. Like so. From my projection was thinking that they would sell around 50 million, around 50, 55 million consoles this generation. They might just be around 40. But it still ain't as bad as what was it, 15 to 18 million overall for the Wii U lifetime? Lifetime. Xbox ain't never gonna, because I guarantee you there's 30 million plus Xbox fans, regardless of how pissed off that they would be because of the move or whatever. Most people that buy Xbox are just Xbox fans that don't care about this stuff like we do. So they'll still continue to buy an Xbox, especially if they're into the ecosystem and everything else, like I was trying to explain yesterday. But that's the thing with Nintendo. Nintendo was at their lowest point. And when I remember when Next Gen and all them was just dogging the hell out of it. And I said, look, you can't count them out. I said, it doesn't look good. I mean, after the Wii U, of course. But what if this is a hit? And everybody was like, it's not going to be a hit. Nobody plays these kiddie games no more. Nobody, everybody wants power. We were at the time of the resolution wars at that time and Puddlegate and all that other shit, right? Well, Puddlegate came later, but it was all about the grain of grass and resolutions, right? Like all that corny shit, right? And now look at Nintendo outselling the best-selling console at that time in history, which was the PlayStation 2, which was a god tier console, right? Like I still prefer the PlayStation 1 over the PlayStation 2 for me personally. Because in those days, I was a PlayStation stan during the PlayStation 1 era, probably maybe halfway in the PlayStation 2 generation until I finally got my hands on the OG Xbox. But yeah, nah, Jack, nah, not at all. He said, well, come on, let's go going through here and say this. Okay, y'all having discussions amongst yourself. I'm trying to put some of this stuff in here. So Indiana Jones visually looks amazing when it started. No spoiler. Oh yeah, Indiana Jones looked great. Indiana Jones is spectacular. It looks great. It looks great. Now I did see. I think that was J-Rock that was showing a clip of the third person view, and I was trying to get to that third person view, but then after seeing when Indy is out there fighting, I'm like, nah, man, okay, I'm cool with the way that it is. So they made the game the way that they is. I'm pretty sure that might have been some kind of PC play, but I thought that they said that you can do you can do third person, but I think that was just only if you climbing ladders or going down a zip line or doing some other type of stuff like that. So just play it first person. And actually when you're doing the fighting and stuff like that, the immersion is a lot more fun. So, I mean, I still sometimes don't get over the first person view, but it's just kind of like with Cyberpunk 2077. Like I was like, I'm not feeling this. I wish that I could see third person view, and then all of a sudden some just snapped, and I wasn't even caring about that. The story was popping, the combat was fantastic, and I didn't even care. And at that point, like now it's one of my favorite games of all time. So anyway, Indie is good. Anyway, yeah. Now, yeah, see, and that's the thing too. You're right. The GameCube was the most powerful console at that time, but they did that goofy shit with the little discs. So they couldn't pirate, right? Because Nintendo is always about, hey, you ain't getting nothing from me. I'm gonna take from you. So I think that and it was goofy looking. The controller was goofy looking. Like, I mean, the controller was more goofy looking than the Nintendo 64. That's when I kind of got off on the Nintendo kick was the Nintendo 64. That controller was. I said, oh no, man, this is beyond me. This thing is way beyond me now. I'm not even, man, hand me that PlayStation controller or that Sega Saturn controller, man. I'm not, I mean, hell, Panasonic's controller was was even better. I mean, the Neo Geo controller was dope. Like, what is this, Nintendo? Like, I couldn't get with it. I couldn't get with it, and so I missed out on a lot of games until I went back and I bought one and played and bought some old classic games. But yeah, no, man, when it first came out, I was like, nah, man, that stuff is too kiddie. So I understood what the fellows were saying back on the multiplayer about when Nintendo's kiddie and all this other stuff. But the one thing about Nintendo that makes them special is that they aren't afraid to keep innovating, and that they just don't care. They have a vision and they stick with it and they do it. And that's why I'm saying I hope that Xbox, if this is their vision and this is their plan and this is what they're going to do, I'm optimistic about the ideas, and I'll get to that here in a little bit, but just do it. I mean, we're already here, right? You know what I'm saying? We're already at the point of what Xbox is doing, but Nintendo themselves, they just do what they want to do. And listen, you would think that Nintendo would just kind of rehash what they got with the Switch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do something completely different, but they still would keep the handheld aspect of it. Like, I really do. I think that Nintendo is going to, if Nintendo went completely left and did something else, I wouldn't be surprised, but because of the success of the Switch, I think that they'll still stay close to home. Because I think that they do know that the console market is not as viable as it once was. And as much as I feel that Nintendo, people will buy Nintendos, I mean, I'll definitely buy it, but will it do better than the Switch? And I just don't think it will. I think the Switch will be the only console that will sell the numbers that it will sell once it's finished and maxed out, and there will be no other console that can match it ever. I honestly feel that. Thanks for the super chat. Next phase, let me read this. He said Xbox will concede third-party game sales, ACC sales, movie sales, and app sales when they port their games to PlayStation. The console is more than just games. You know, I don't agree with all that. I think that I agree with the part of just saying that the console is more than just games. And that's why if Xbox continues to keep making consoles, then they're fulfilling their promise. They're just saying to you, like, look, man, we're just going to get our money. You know, so, you know, I mean, we don't want another High-Five Rush. When you got a really good quality game, a game that didn't have bugs, a game that had a fantastic story, a game that ran, I mean, superb. One of the best games of that year. And still people didn't gravitate to it. And even though that High-Five Rush did not, it didn't sell well on PlayStation, and I don't think it did, and it didn't do well on Nintendo. And I think that was the reason why Xbox cut the cord on it. But I mean, again, it's like one of these things to me is I see and understand, just like other people out there that aren't jumping off the bridge because of what's going on with PlayStation. I'm sorry, now with Xbox and their Xbox is everywhere type of tactic or whatever. It's this, like, you know, look, they're going to get the money, and listen, it's you know, like I said, I talked about this in full detail yesterday. I just think that what Xbox's ideal is, it is very foreign. It's not usual. I mean, it's not normal. It's something different. It's Xbox, right? Like, Xbox does this. Xbox does these type of moves that looks really bizarre and seems out of touch until it becomes in touch. You know what I'm saying? Until it becomes the norm. How many times have we seen something from Xbox through its history in the last 20 plus years to where we were like, what the hell is that? And then now it's the norm. And now every console is doing it to some degree. From the online gaming aspect that really took off even though that there was other, PlayStation was trying to do it, Nintendo was trying to do it, Sega was trying to do it, but nobody didn't implement it the way that Xbox has implemented it, right? The same thing with like putting a hard drive into a console when we were used to memory cards, to all the PC kind of like components that was in the OG console compared to what we were used to. And then just also the craziest thing that what made the 360 probably the best console ever made in history is implementing things like apps and more things of structure, like for 30 versus 30, was it 30 versus 30? I think that was called, or movie night and stuff like that, stuff that Xbox should be implementing and bringing back in the first place. Stuff like, even though that PlayStation had the iToy and Nintendo was doing like, that weird VR thing. And that's what makes me not like VR, is because I went all in with the Nintendo VR and then it was just a sham. And I'm tainted. I'm still tainted to this day from something from 30 years ago, but I'm still tainted and I don't like VR. That's the reason. Thank you. Nintendo did that to me. So when people say why you don't like VR, it's because what Nintendo did with the VR, with their VR. And I went in and I paid that money to get it. You know what I'm saying? And I was, that's great. Yeah, I was not pleased. So anyway, that's the thing. Like, Xbox always does something that we look at crazy, like with the whole digital thing that they were doing, all this stuff, and we didn't look at that. We look at it. It was like, okay, we can get used to it. So the one thing that just made it click with the 360 is that it seemed like everything hit at the right time, at the perfect time. With the Xbox One, they got greedy, and then they got lazy with the games. And then, of course, they had that whole situation with the lack of content towards the end of the Xbox One generation. So again, that's where you're at. Like, I mean, and now you look at this, and Xbox is doing this situation, because we've been talking about this forever, about how Xbox has been trying to get out the console war aspect for a very long time, because they've come to the realization that they are not going to be PlayStation or Nintendo in the console war. The Xbox One generation was that generation, and Phil Spencer alluded to it, and he made it perfectly clear. And I know a lot of people didn't like that when he said that in an interview a couple of years ago, but he was right. He was right. They made so many mistakes during the Xbox One generation that it killed them when it comes to the console. So if Xbox still are willing to make consoles, that nobody should feel as though the console is lesser, because they're not going to bullshit you and give you a console that's on par with what the Switch was when it released, right? So I think it's going to be even crazier for what Xbox is going to bring to the table. I think what Xbox is going to bring is something that's going to be really expensive, but really high tech, because this could be the last console from Xbox. And we'll see. And then, of course, they're going to have the handheld. And if the handheld is connected something to the new console and all that, man, it's going to be wild. So again, I keep on trying to iterate this to you guys, is that you can't keep thinking that the console is not worthy because they're making a strategy. We're still getting the games. We're still going to have a quality box. It's what you make of that box. If you're looking at your Series X because Indiana Jones is going to be on PlayStation in about 5-6 months, then that's a you problem, because I mean, you're playing it now first. If Xbox is not putting all their games, which they will put some games on there day one on PlayStation and Nintendo, right? Like Call of Duty and stuff like that. But we're not tripping about those games. But we're talking about the Fables and the Gears and the stuff like that. If they sit there and they hold off, and like I said, if they do a couple of years of something like that, then I don't see how anybody could trip out. I really, in the long run, not now. Like everybody. I'm like I don't like it either, right? But in the long run, when I turn on my Xbox, I'm not sitting here like, damn, my Xbox ain't worth shit anymore because it's going because no, I'm just gaming. So it is what it is. I don't know. I can't tell anybody. Like I said yesterday, you can't be mad at people that are upset, and you can't be mad for people who saying like, man, let's just move on and let's just enjoy the ride and see what Xbox does. And if Xbox steps on their foot, then hopefully they can make the right direction of where most of us want them to go back to, or they cooked. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy realized, bro, I was so hot, so hot. Yes. Yeah. That's the thing, Oculus fan. Xbox always thinks ahead. Yeah, Cortana, all that stuff. Like that's the thing to me is that like where PlayStation was at their peak is when they were the ones to be the innovators. They're waiting for see what everybody else is doing to see if it works or not. Then they do it. That's what kind of made me fall off with PlayStation because I'm like y'all still what I'm saying, y'all make the games and stuff like that, but then man, like when they did the picture-in-picture, when PlayStation fans was over there clowning the Xbox for being a TV box and all this and all that at the Xbox One, and I'm like, hold up, y'all got a picture-in-picture now on the PlayStation 5, and y'all over here acting like that's cool? What? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And then the TV thing, and then here we go with TV everything everywhere. So it's really nuts. Yeah, I want the snap feature back. Like that's the thing too. I want a lot of features that like there was so many fantastic features from the 360 and from the Xbox One and from the features that they got into the Series X. If they can get all of that crammed into this new box, man, it doesn't make sense. Now I know that there's a lot of things that they're trying to do with the bringing the gaming content and stuff like that. That's more important. I get that. Then but the thing for me is where my family got together on Sundays for the game show thing. My family got together for like when we play Lips and stuff like that. Now I know Lips is never gonna come back, which that breaks my heart, but that's okay. I got my 360 and I got all the Lips games, so we play that from time to time. But like the movie night, like we sitting here, like especially like these new movies that's dropping right now. Like they had a great sale for Transformers 1, Deadpool, Wolverine, and mostly all these new movies. They're all like they're popping up there like Doom 2 and stuff like that. Like if you know what I'm saying, somebody can sit there and say, hey man, I'm finna watch Doom 2, and then y'all can all huddle up and be watching the movie together like you used to on the 360. That shit is dope. Like why would you not implement that back into the like that's what gets gamers involved, because what you do is you get not only the gamers but you get the casuals involved, because then you're sitting there like the wife or the husband or the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They're sitting there, the friends, they'll be sitting there like, man, what are you watching a movie with other people? Yeah, and we over having a good time. Then hell, give them some headsets and let them watch and then entertain, and everybody's entertaining like they're in the theater, but it's just different. Like those type of things were just way ahead of its time, but it felt good at the time, like it was perfect, right? Those type of things need to come back in some capacity. I don't know, like the people that were doing all the bitching and complaining, talking about I just want my console to be a console. They should have never listened to them. Never should have listened to them. Never, because you know what? They bring up that stuff about the 360 from time to time, because they know how fascinating that was. But they just want, but now since they're PlayStation guys, they rather have that for the PlayStation or whatever. But no, the PlayStation gamers aren't really like that. They're kind of, isolated. Like unless they're in a group of homies or something like that, they're pretty isolated. Like because they play their single player games or they'll play, their NBA 2Ks with their groups or whatever, and then that's or Call of Duties, and that's it. They don't go out and branch out. Like Xbox gamers, that's when I kind of realized how fascinating the gaming community was and how fascinating the online gaming community was, from the good and the bad. From like the Call of Duties with them playing Uno or spades with people and just with strangers, and how you gain friends and stuff like that type of stuff is what Xbox should be going for. Not so much of trying to just be a game box only. That's what Xbox should never, ever just try to be. Xbox should try to be a little bit of what they were and implement that all into one box. I don't know. I hope you guys agree with me. Oh, yeah. Well, Xbox record that to Snap, all that stuff. Like we sit there and we know exactly what that. Microsoft is one of the largest gaming publishers. You can't own that much and tie it down to a piece of plastic. That's financial suicide. I totally agree, Jeanette. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said talk about the percentage, right? That's why I talk about the percentage. But anyway, that was a great point that you brought up. Next phase. But hold on, let me go over here. We go through here. So here we go. This was pretty interesting to me. This was incredible, right? All right, so and if somebody needs to, I'll show it to where from the source himself, because all this stuff is from the source, right? It's from Matt. He's just no longer, like I said, on Twitch. I'm sorry, on Twitter, X anymore. He's everywhere else. He's on Threads and he's on Blue Sky, which Blue Sky is very peaceful, very peaceful. Anyway, the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is this year's big holiday video game. Hit in the US over half of all active Xbox Series users. This was nuts to me because, see, what Stans always keeps trying to bring up a point is saying like, well, we don't Xbox gamers don't play these games, or they got Game Pass and they it's always PlayStation. More PlayStation people are on these games than Xbox gamers. Well, Xbox gamers said hold our beer, because look at this. Over half of all active Xbox Series users played Call of Duty during the week, with 38% of PlayStation active users doing the same. No other title reached 30%. 58%. Now this part right here was from the first week or the first couple of weeks of when Call of Duty dropped. This little part right here. But I thought this was very interesting. That's why I put that in there. 58% of Xbox subscribers or users or whatever, active users, or I said, series, the Xbox Series, active users, and 37% of active PlayStation 5 users played Call of Duty HQ. 58%. They dog walked by 21%, bro. 21%. We're talking, hold on. Think about that for a second. And now you got to put another factor into that, right? Why was it that much? Well, it was that Game Pass factor. See, the Stans don't ever want to come clean about how much they love Game Pass. If it was a PlayStation, if it was PlayStation's innovation, because they know how valuable and how strong that would do for the PlayStation community and for the PlayStation gamers out there if they had something that was anywhere close or comparable. And there's nothing that PlayStation has that's even close or comparable to Game Pass. 58%, man. And we're talking about, and this is what's another thing too, because I've seen them out there and they're talking about 29% loss of console sales, whatever. But still, how is it that, okay, Xbox consoles aren't selling, but they damn sure dog walked the hell out of them first couple of weeks of Xbox active users over PlayStation active users. And that factor, that added factor, was Game Pass. No question about it. No question about it. And that's also just because a lot of these PlayStation stands love to tell you that, well, you're renting the game. The game is not what this game is not necessary. You're not even owning the game proper. I mean, newsflash, folks. Nobody's owning these games the way that it used to be. We're just buying a license at this point. But no, stop frauding the public and lying to the people because you're jealous of Game Pass, because there's so many other incentives. First, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you get discounts on the games since you don't have to pay full price. Another factor is now that they added here the last couple of years where you're buying the upgrade edition, and then you can go and buy the other game edition later. So if you paid the $30, $40 for the upgrade edition for the Vault edition on Call of Duty, you got to play it early and you got everything else early. And then when Call of Duty gets down to an acceptable price, if you didn't want to pay the whole $100 and some right then and there, cool. But you're also benefiting, you're helping Xbox, and for engagement, you're adding extra funds, and you're people that are still buying the game, buying the $100 version, or now buying the I think it's what now? Is it $80 now? Is it like $80 for the Vault edition now, or whatever? But see, that's the thing right there. It's like we got to sit here, and this is why Xbox is in this situation, in space, is saying, look, we got our cash cow. We got a couple of cash cows. We got our meal tickets. That's why I said the meal ticket. And that meal ticket is Call of Duty, Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and for whatever else that they're going to be dropping out there. Yeah, there will be a couple of duds like Pendament and other games that they'll drop that won't resonate. But man, when a game like Doom of the Dark Ages hit all everywhere, money. And just wait until the next Call of Duty drops on Nintendo as well, and when they can sit there and they can implement their mobile, and that can and then an Xbox is going to be having games on Apple, and man, it's gonna be nuts. That's what I'm trying to say, that they're going to win the market share without selling the most consoles. It's going to be the most bizarre thing that we've ever seen. But there's been so many bizarre things happening that we can't even, So Fahim, okay, you on your BS. Let's see what you're saying. What you saying, Fahim? You saying no? I have plenty of friends, sir. I damn well know I am not isolated, sir. You are. I can't. I won't say that you aren't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you're isolated or not, but I'll take your word for it. But most of y'all are. Most of y'all are, especially when I sit there and I talk to some of you stands on social media. I can tell some of y'all are. Y'all don't be getting out. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, sucker. Anyway, what else are you saying? He says that's what happens when you try to buy the world. Listen, what? Because of the 29%? So if Sony gets that anime and the From Software studio, that's all. What I'm saying? They're trying to buy the world, the anime world, for sure. Like they got Funimation, they got Crunchyroll. Like, I mean, damn. And then on top of that, now you're gonna add From Software to your lineup. Like, I mean, again, that's good for Sony. Go ahead and do what you got to do, right? But if they try to hold off and try to keep those games exclusive, it's just like what I think that was Next Phase that said that. Was that Next Phase? No, that was Gen X that said, look, it's financial suicide. PlayStation gamers are not going to buy Elden Ring like they did. Listen, case in point, the Final Fantasy franchise. The Final Fantasies still have not caught up to Final Fantasy 15. I mean, it's just what it is. So it's one of those things to me is where it's like, Sony might play a little game. I mean, like Bloodborne, of course, would be exclusive and be that and on PC. That's a given. But with and maybe a Demon Souls or whatever, if they want to, do another one of those or whatever. But yeah, but Elden Ring and Dark Souls, nah, man, they would lose so much money. They would lose so much money. Would they gain some people to buy the console? Yeah, some, but it ain't going to be what they anticipate. It's the same thing. Like when the Final Fantasy VII remake came out, their console sales went up dramatically that month, right? Sales didn't reflect that. The sales for the first week looked like it was going to catch up and do fantastic work, and probably even maybe surpass Final Fantasy 15, but it just dipped off. So, yeah, no, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. You saying From Software isn't that big? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Man, they got Armored Core. They got heat. You know what I'm saying? And Elden Ring is one of Elden Ring sold what? 20, 30 million copies? What are you talking about? Not big. Demon Souls sold about the same amount. What are you talking about? Like they're not big. They sell more than most of your PlayStation first party games. So yeah, no. That's absurd, brother. That's absurd, buddy. That's fraud in the public. Next face said, I agree, but you can tie content to all platforms. The direct rival, mobile, PC, and even Switch, but you don't need to put specific content into your biggest console rivals. No, and I agree. Halo, Gears and Forza, Fable, Starfield, Elder Scrolls should stay Xbox. Period. Those should be off limits. Those should be Xbox PC only, and mobile. That's it. And cloud. That's it. No, should not be on Nintendo. Should not be unless there's a negotiation to where if from the tier of the game that PlayStation or Nintendo has, they have to give up the same type of level of game. And that Nintendo could probably maybe want to do like for instance, let's just say Nintendo would want the Horizon series. Well, we want Mario Kart. I think Nintendo might be down with that, right? And I wouldn't trip out about that because I think that that's a pretty even trade in the sense of, because I think Mario Kart is even a bigger kind of racer. It's a kiddie kind of racer, but it's still Mario Kart. Mario Kart is absolutely a joy to play. It's a blast to play. But for Sony's side, if you're talking about one Halo, then I got to get God of War. I got to get God of War. And I don't care. No, Uncharted ain't Halo. The Last of Us ain't Halo. No, I want God of War. And if you can't give me God of War, you ain't getting shit over here. No, Halo will do good enough by staying on Xbox and PC and on cloud. All you got to do is have it proper. I mean, Halo Infinite was fine until after that whatever crazy patch that it did, and then it went downhill after that. And then when they tried to revive it was just too late. So that was the problem with that. I mean, hell, Halo 5, people can have all the disagreements about Halo 5 all they want to, but it sold like hotcakes. As a matter of fact, people actually are wanting to get the rec packs back instead of what Xbox is doing, or what Halo Infinite is doing with their seasons. So anyway, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But we'll see. As you saying, so for K Mega to say that, no, what to say what? You said, they got Elden Ring, Armored Core, and other things. I get that, but they are nowhere near the same. Bro, they have, man, Elden Ring is a massive franchise now. Elden Ring is huge. You just seen that they're going to be doing now an online like Elden Ring online game now that they're going to be having coming up here in 2025. Yeah, Elden Ring is exploded. Elden Ring might be bigger than Dark Souls now. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Dark Souls is huge too, but you know, I don't know. So again, Halo Infinite, what are you saying? Halo Infinite is fire. So yeah, Halo Infinite is dope. The one thing I have not played Halo Infinite in a very long time because I'm upset for one factor, right? And it's, I mean, it's nitpicking, but it makes me upset because it's a play anywhere title, and I have it installed on Steam, but I did have it installed through my Xbox app, and I was enjoying playing it on my PC than I was playing it on my Xbox, which it doesn't really matter in that sense of when it's coming to the online. But I paid for the whole game, right? And I can't get access to the through the Xbox app anymore because after some stupid patch or whatever, it does that stupid anti cheat thing. And I've been trying for the last, I don't know, almost 8 9 months, hell, maybe even longer, trying to figure out. I've done everything that I've seen, videos and everything else to try to get that anti-cheat off, and it will not go away. So I got to, and I just was working on it last night because I wanted to play some Halo. I was like, yeah, I want to play some Halo, but I want to play the Halo story, but I wanted to play it on my PC because I haven't got to see the story on my rig, on my rig that I got. I played the story through my Xbox. And so I was like, you know what? I want to see what it looks like, you know, how crisp it'll be, but it won't work. So I would have to buy another version I would have to buy the Steam version of the story of Halo Infinite in order for me to do it. And I'm not paying those $60. I'm not paying another $60 for that. Like, that's crazy. That's asinine. I will not do that. I will not do that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the only thing that I have available is just the online on Steam. Or if I want to go through the story, then I can play it through my Xbox. But that's not the play anywhere thing because of that stupid anti-cheat. So that's my frustration on it. So I just like, man, you know what? I'm uninstalling it, and I did. I uninstalled it last night. I got frustrated, so and I'll reinstall it again because I love Halo, so I'm just like I'm going to be jumping on Halo at some point, but I'm just going to be bitching about it because I'm going to want to play the story on my rig, and and I won't be able to because I'm not going to spend the money to buy the Steam version of the story version. That's crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying extra now for that, especially is a play anywhere title. So yeah, anyway, but this thing here is showing the games the games from each from Steam, from PlayStation, from Xbox, right? Call of Duty, cash cow. That Microsoft is winning. Microsoft is winning their ass off. Look at this. This was the reason for ABK, right? Yeah, we can be mad about the next strategy of what Xbox is doing, but this is what this was all about. And this is a winner chicken dinner. Okay, number 2, Fortnite, which is wild. Fortnite, number 2 on both. Okay, so then this is what's crazy too. Okay, on PlayStation, Grand Theft Auto 5 remastered. Bro, that game, how is that game still how is this game still selling after all these years? It's been what, 15 years? Oh. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Sekiro. Oh my God, that's right, Ninja Blade. Enhanced arms. I got Ninja Blade enhanced. Yes. You're right, man. Let me put that in there, right there. Yes, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Soul Series, Ninja Blade, enhanced arms. Man, Sony would be cooking with those titles. Man, if I was Sony, I'd jump and bring Ninja Blade back so bad, so quick. Oh my God. Now, that'd be wild if PlayStation would bring back the QTEs. I mean, I was a fan of the QTEs. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I love the QTEs. I know a lot of people didn't like them, but I like the QTEs. Anyway, So again, I still don't understand how people are still buying Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever. And then here, Roblox on Xbox, Helldivers 2, Call of Duty on PC, number two. And then, Counter Strike is a game that just doesn't seem like it'll drop to maybe the top 10, and then it's coming right back to number one. Like who keeps buying Counter Strike? I mean, I think that's more just like for people keep buying enhancements and stuff like that. I guess I don't know, but the Grand Theft Auto 5 thing is way bizarre. Okay, so NBA 2K, and then hell, I didn't even pay attention to this on Xbox. This game will never die until Grand Theft Auto 6 come. And I wouldn't be surprised if we seen Grand Theft Auto 6 and Grand Theft Auto 5 in the same list. That's nuts. Anyway, okay, so Roblox on PlayStation, Minecraft, and then you got Deadlock, then you got college football 25, you got NBA 2K25, and then you got some game called Factoro. Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. What's going on here? Turn my phone on. You got Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, which I'm very pleased about that. And then you got college football, Baldur's Gate 3. That's still fascinating that game is still going strong too as well. It's, that's a large game, Jack. Man, that's going to be one of those games that's going to take me a couple of years to beat. Like, because that game is so massive, and I'm going to have a time. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to finish it. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, but man. Anyway, WWE 24. You know what? I really wanted every time because they had really good deals for it, but I mean, like, I only played the wrestling game a few times. I bought a couple of them and only played a few times with people, and that's it. So. I don't know. Anyway, Rainbow Six, that's impressive that Rainbow Six is still doing very, 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 very well. And then there's a game called Web Fishing, Madden 25, Overwatch 2, which is another Xbox title now, which that is with Xbox. So Dead by Daylight, Minecraft over there. Xbox is represented over there. Rocket League, that is crazy that Rocket League is still doing its thing. And that's a game that I've only played like maybe twice. I know that Rocket League is fun. I just only played it twice. What is it? Phantom Phobia. So don't even know what the hell that is. Apex Legend. Okay. All right. Destiny 2. Damn, how crazy is how wild is how far has Destiny has fallen, man. Destiny was everything, and now it's like, wow. Anyway, Overwatch 2. Okay, then you got Spider-Man 2. You got Spyro Trilogy, Warframe. You got Rocket League. You got Forza Horizon. That's impressive as hell that game is that many years old, and Forza Horizon is still selling like that. That's impressive. You got War Thunder, World of the Plains. Then you got Rocket League over here on PlayStation. Oh, I was on PlayStation. You got Mortal Kombat 1, and very impressive, number 15, you got Dragon Ball Z. You got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Good job, Xbox gamers, for representing fighters. You know what I'm saying? I needed to see some Tekken in there, or maybe some Street Fighter 6, but as well. But we'll let you slide. You got a fighter in there. You got a fighter in there for sure. All right, and then you got Team Fortress 2. There was a special on Steam for Team Fortress. I've never played them, so I'll go through and I'll probably stream that at some point. So anyway, just to let you guys know about that was pretty impressive to see 58% of the Xbox active users compared to PlayStation's 37% within those first 2 weeks. That's impressive stuff. All right, here's another one right here. It says top 15 titles by total weekly U.S. players, not concurrent, from November 24th, 23rd. Solid start for Stalker 2. Solid start for Stalker 2. See, now I've seen somebody posting it saying that where was Stalker 2 on the list? So anyway, Debuting at number 4 on Xbox Series and number 3 on Steam. Xbox Series has had 2 other new game charts. Genshin Impact, which is fantastic to see. That Xbox finally got that game over there. That's ninth, and Flight Simulator, and which that also tells you that there's people that are interested in those games. So again, when they always say that Xbox gamers don't play those type of games, they've been lying, because Yakuza, Persona. Now you look and you see Genshin Impact is getting some attention. And let me think, some other Metaphor, I think, did pretty good on Xbox. Again, now when you want to look on the flip side and say Final Fantasy Online, I don't think it's doing too well. But hey, I mean, now you can't have everything. But again, look at this chart right here. Call of Duty is doing their thing. And then of course there's Fortnite, and then it's kind of looking the same, except for on Xbox. Here it says Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Then you got over there on PC, and then hell 3, you got Stalker over there. So again, it is fascinating, because we know Stalker is eventually going to be going to the PlayStation. But if these games are doing good or making having solid starts, and they're not need to be on PlayStation or Nintendo, man, I would hope that what Matt Booty said about case by case basis is like looking at something like this, like, you know what? Maybe we don't have to put Stalker 2 on PlayStation. If this game is continuing to do well, or do well enough, but who knows? I don't know. And then you got the rest of this game. So you got Genshin Impact. You got Flight Simulator, because I seen somebody say Flight Simulator that was number 10. Forza Horizon's still there. Madden fell off. NBA 2K still doing what it's doing. And then on PlayStation, you looking and seeing, Dragon Ball Z. So shame on you, Xbox gamers. There's no more fighters on here. Damn it. But there you got, look, Dragon Ball Z is on PlayStation number 9. Mortal Kombat 1, so that's 2 fighters over there. And Spider-Man fell off and went down to number 15. But then you don't see no Astrobot. Where's Astrobot? Oof. Yikes. See, like, again. And then you look on PC, like PC has all different types of stuff over there. So, but Helldivers 2, see, and that's crazy too, because Helldivers 2 is not nowhere. It wasn't even on either one of these lists. So I don't know, man. It's bizarro world over there. I don't know. So the gamers who's holding Helldivers down is the PC community. And Sony damn near cut off almost half of them by doing that crazy PSN sign-in thing, which is nuts. Or Helldivers could probably be in the top 2, because it was killing it when it first dropped. So I don't know, whatever. But only my last point, because here I do my hour and a half. I try to want to do less, but then I always know that I'm like, look, I want to do my hour and a half, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. But let me see it read what this is saying. Grand Theft Auto 5 is always up there because of the DLC, but I'm like, man, come on. Like, man, now we understand why Grand Theft Auto cost $1 billion to make. Over $1 billion. Grand Theft Auto 6 has cost over $1 billion to make, because they've made so much money off of this franchise. Like, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really, really fascinating how this game is. It will not go away. So anyway, okay, you guys are over here arguing about something. Okay, so there we go on that. Just because I've got you on big screen now. Big screen. Let's see. Let me share this screen too right here. Wanted to share this. Move this over. All right. Yeah. Okay. Last point, and then we're finna get out of here. I thought this was pretty interesting right here. I thought this was very interesting. And if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, same name, K Mega 405. So like I said, it's really peaceful. So you ain't got to be worrying about all that other stuff over there. But anyway, this is something that, and this is the media on that BS. 2024 currently has more known game industry layoffs than 2023 and 2022 combined. Now, remember how everybody last year jumped on Xbox ass for what they for letting go of their employees, which again, nobody likes to see that. But 2024, roughly 600 layoffs away from doubling 2023. There is still plenty of business left, business days left in the month. Don't emphasize enough how extreme these last few years have been so far. Like, look at these numbers, right? Like, it's just crazy. And so, I mean, it's over there. Like, of course, because Xbox is the bigger company, and so since they got all those people from ABK, they have the biggest number of people that they laid off from headcount. But then, I mean, just looking from Unity, from Electronic Arts, from Sony, from Tencent, it's nuts. It's nuts. 33,000 people have been laid off. Damn near 34,000 people have been laid off, and they saying it like he said, almost 600. They're almost 600 away from doubling that. So, like, I mean, and you don't see the industry really bringing this stuff up because Microsoft has already done their layoffs. So what about these other companies, right? Like, I mean, every company here has done something, and we still constantly hear about companies doing layoffs. We've seen something just last week where one company, I forgot, what was it, People That Could Fly? I think that was a week or two ago, that they had to lay some people off. So, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. And which that tells you that there's something out there that's making these companies make these moves like that, not only with acquisitions, but also because they're spending a lot of money, and it's crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. So I just wanted to show these things right here and just show you that, look, man, the media should be on the job, and for the people that's over here that's that was all on it when it came to Microsoft. Like, damn, look at January. January had like 6,000 people getting sent off. Good grief, man. That's crazy. I mean, that's just letting you know something's up, and it's pretty nutty. It's pretty nutty. But anyway, all right, guys, I really do appreciate it. I did my rant. I don't think that there's going to be any other big news that's going to be coming through for the rest of this week. If it is, then I'll jump on here again. So I thank you guys so much for coming and checking me out. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and do that. It would be greatly appreciated. Going to be putting out more content here for the remainder of this. Well, I'll be doing Fight Night tomorrow night. Then I'll be streaming something else either Friday or Saturday. And then, like I said, I was going to start doing the pre-recording things of Fight Night on Sunday. Start doing that, and then I don't think I'll be having any content going unless there's some news and stuff at the beginning of the week. But who knows? And then I'll be on break for Christmas break. I'll be going on vacation, and then after I come back from vacation, we'll be on the roll again. And I'll have the schedule set so people can know when I will, have my thoughts every week or whatever. You'll know the day and the time. So that we'll just make that something that a habit so people can know. So it won't just be so random unless it's like news like this or whatever. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Let me read this last thing from Next Phase. He says, sales are down. The pandemic gave the industry a sugar rush, which is true. That has been slowly declining. Like the economic fears about are also cutting the next directionary spending. Yeah, I mean like if there's tariffs, if that thing is true, that's going to be problematic. Game development is very expensive. Like there's just so many, and then of course the implication of AI, which we'll start finding more stuff out about games that's going to be using AI technology, so they won't be needing as many people. And yeah, it's going to get wild. It's not. We're not nowhere near done of being surprised. That's my feeling about it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming through. Until next time, I will holler at you guys later, man. Peace.